Here we go. Hello, everybody. Bit of a surprise and chaos, as you can see. Welcome to another episode of MeteorJS Dispatches. This one is a special solo episode because sadly Alim Gafar and Küster are not able, for various reasons, to make it this week. Though Jan is in the chat, so get your spicy memes and everything ready. He's lurking there, as are hopefully many others of you. So let us know where you're watching us from. My name is Jan Dvorak, coming to you live from Prague, and today we'll be talking money, or at least the lack of money for certain people. But first, let us get started. Well, say also about money as well. There has been an open letter coming or going to Oracle, and it's about all releasing the chains of JavaScript, or at least that's how it might seem at the first time. The gist of this is Oracle actually owns the trademark of JavaScript, so this open letter is asking them to release it and making a claim that they have actually not been using the trademark, so it's considered abandoned, and they should just make it official, and so that it can be free and no issues can come from using JavaScript as a trademark. And it has quite some interesting people already signed this up. Starting with Randall, the creator of Node.js, Brandon Ike, creator of JavaScript itself, and many other. I think from our part, we also notice Scott Stalinsky, host of Syntax FM, and also one of the many people who came out of Meteor community. So definitely, give this a read, sign if you are so inclined, and let us know, maybe what you think, or if you disagree on this. It's a very interesting development in regards to rights, and as this letter points, it has become more of a general term. So it's kind of doesn't make sense to have a trademark on a general term. Next, we have our annual State of HTML survey. This is a relatively new survey in the series. Earlier, we had State of CSS, now with HTML. And of course, if we get towards the end of the year, we'll have JavaScript as well, and a few others as well. As always, I highly encourage everybody to take this. You oftentimes learn quite a few new things here and there, or learn about some new tags and other properties that you might use, or that you might use to enrich your application. So definitely go there. I recommend it. As CZ Psycho says, I was quite surprised what I did not know. I wouldn't say don't be surprised, because it's quite a big spec. And oftentimes, with HTML, especially, we've kind of grown accustomed that it's not really changing, or it's not changing much. But there are still some addition, and there are a lot of, I would say, little things that you don't think about, or because they are not like the big one that you use every day, but they may come then once you start doing accessibility, and you want to be more semantic in the in your HTML as well. This kind of goes back to the origins, for those who remember, of internet, and when we only had HTML and early CSS. The tags themselves do have semantic meaning, so that's important for accessibility. So definitely jump on it. If nothing else, to just spite me, to say that I'm not the most knowledgeable person of HTML, because of course, when I was there, and when at the end, because I was one of the first ones, it told me that I'm top 100, the best. So even Jan admits here that some of the new features you don't really get to. And interesting idea here. Jan would like to see a monthly MDN newsletter on pretty much the news about these things, which interesting idea. Now then, kind of also, at least for me, forgotten this year is Hacktoberfest. It's that time of the year. It's coming up. The registration for Hacktoberfest will open in about 3 days. So, for those who don't, remember or who are using it for the first time, Hacktoberfest is a celebration in October of open source and open source development. And the idea is to get 3 or 4 pull requests, create them during Hacktoberfest, and get them merged during October with everything, and to win prizes. Sadly, it has, or for its own, it has really grown a lot over the years. Sadly, that meant that we had quite a few people who just spam repositories. So some big projects really disliked and dread when October comes around. So there were options to disable it. And also that meant that it was no longer possible to really give all the successful people, T-shirt and other rewards. So the rewards have shifted more towards digital, which is probably going to discourage a lot of these spammers. But if you are like me, or if you at least contribute a little bit to open source, definitely sign up to this, check this out. There's a lot of other events as well, and there are some benefits. So I would say getting on this, you only get some extra things, especially if you are contributing regularly. Now off to new releases and kind of a preview of a future topic as well. We have Node version 22.9 that got released 3 days ago. So we don't have this yet in Meteor, but we will have that soon, because this Node 22 will soon be moving into the long-term support stage, which means it will be included in Meteor as well. So we are gonna bring you this information so you know what's coming, what you'll be able to use once that change happens. I would say, for most interestingly, there's a new API to retrieve execution stack trace. I think for regular development or developers on apps, it's not going to be that important, but I think this has a great potential in Meteor itself. So if this is something that you would be interested in adding to Meteor, get ready for Oktoberfest. That can be your pull request to improve the stack trace in Meteor. Interestingly, there was also disabling of V8 maglev, which caused some issues, and there is an now exposing the flag partial change for TLS create secure contents, more in security aspects, and of course some deprecations and other fixes. So relatively small release, some would say, but still very, very interesting, especially for the stack trace. I think that can become quite interesting things for the future. Now then, and we move to Meteor News. Will be quite short, I would say, today, but hopefully we can have more discussion later. So first of all, the big news is that, as we've talked about last week about the work groups, we have our first work groups announcements, open discussion. We have the officer roles package inclusion with me, Jan Küster, and Nielsen as the initial members. The goal is to migrate the roles package into core, and we'll make any additional changes and discuss what else can we do around that to make it maybe more interesting than just migrating the package itself, or if maybe we do it in a bit different aspects than original thought. So you can feel free to contribute. Discussion, as you can see, we already have quite a wide and lively discussion here. So feel free to join on that. And we still have to discuss when we'll meet next week, which will be open similar like this stream to the community, so we can participate more directly as well. Now, going on the releases, let's go first with the official releases. We have 3.0.4 starting development. It's not yet released. Right now we have 3.0.3, which I think will be recommended soon, but you can, so right now you have to use the update -- release command to get it. And right now 3.0.4 updates web app dependencies. I have a few more pull requests around web app package, and if everything goes smoothly, if I can fix the final tests or revert why they are getting broken, then we also have a bit of a slim down in the web app package by using more of Express own package or internal code instead of having extra dependencies, and a few modernizations here and there. So keep an eye on that one. I think that one will be coming in a few weeks as well. Then, as was mentioned with the target for the roles package in Meteor 3.1, we have started already a draft pull request on release 3.1. Right now, I think kind of peering into what's baking in the pull request, what I can see, and from other things that we've already seen, we'll have Node 22 in here because this will probably come sometime in October. So if you get your pull request in time, it can be part of Oktoberfest and get it out quite early in this release. And of course, we'll have the roles package in there as well, plus any other fixes, improvements that come along. It's a feature release, so it will be focused on features for patches. We have patches. Now, from the Meteor community packages, I have one release that I want to highlight, and that is for Meteor Desktop. Many thanks to Abigail Watson for doing the pull request to refactor or remove fiber syntax out of one of the packages that we use there. So we are one more step closer to having Meteor Desktop ready for Meteor 3 and doing all that stuff. The version release is version 3.3, so please give it a try, test it. Let us know if you run into any issues whatsoever, so we can keep on improving this great package, at least until we have potential some new replacements for that. And we are at the end of news. If you find them interesting or in general, or you just like me, then please leave us a like. It really helps us to get us up in the algorithms. And now we are moving off to our feature topic. Earlier this week, or maybe last week, not sure if I remember, Tidelift released their maintainers survey. So let me switch to that. For some reason, that link only works for me in Firefox. Not exactly sure what's with that. So let's zoom in here. So the title is the 2024 Tidelift State of Open Source Maintainer report. I will probably go a bit into the behind the scenes or like industry things. So if you are on in development, I still would ask you to stay because there is quite important things that we need to talk about, or that I'm been constantly harping on for many years, and this survey just underscores it again and again. And let's see, can we jump here? No, we have to scroll down. So they have like here different headlines and findings, and I will want to discuss a few of them here at the top. So what they found is that 60% of maintainers are still not paid for their work. I would say that definitely a lot more, because it's the maintainers who actually kind of had time to respond to them. So that's I think that's kind of an understatement, and it's I would say one of the big issues and problems, and they go kind of more into the details here. Big thing also is that unpaid hobbyists usually maintain their projects, of course, solo. While if you're at least bit paid, then usually you can get some other people help, or this can also be biased, because of if you are getting paid, that means you're popular and there are other people who might be interested in helping you out with it. But the biggest problem, or of course, it's I would say with security that is issue. But before that is kind of what another finding number 2 is, and I want to stick on this cartoon, is that of course when maintainers get paid to do to work on open source, they actually do work on open source and improve their repositories. A long time been kind of ongoing issue here with companies. So you can see here we've been asking like for help, and they say, oh, we love open source, here are the issues, and maybe some swag along the way that we want you to fix. So still lot more work to be done here, though I have to say the situation has really improved over the years, especially with GitHub sponsors coming along, though that, at least from my personal experience, is mostly used by individuals. Companies still really have to kind of find their way here. And and another finding, if I scroll a little bit more further here, that I want to really highlight a bit more. Apologies, skipping a lot of interesting things, so I would highly recommend to read it. The big thing is, why it's important to support maintainers. I think especially since we added the section into our news, thankfully nothing this week, but is first of all security. And we see going from 2021 to 2024, there is an increase of how much time maintainers spend on security around their projects. It's just part of it is because just how much more known open source has become for nefarious actors, and you also seen increase sophistications of attacks, where sometimes it's like multi-year efforts to really get into the specific crucial packages. So that's a big thing. And sadly, also what we see here, probably not really. So what we have here, security, day-to-day maintenance work, which has remained almost the same. Then we have building new features, and seeking financial support remains stable. So I would say that also, like, being able to build new features is part of there actually being more money. So in a way, despite the gloomy outlook on everything, it's actually there, I would say, signs of improvements. And we can see here also that paid maintainers are actually more likely to do the annoying maintenance, security, all that stuff, while not unpaid hobbyists are more for the fun part, I would say, which is building new features. so which you can be part of, and in October, if you want to get some rewards from Hacktoberfest as well. So definitely, start planning now what you want to build and contribute to Meteor or to Meteor community packages. And of course, if you get paid, you start getting more professional, and with using OpenSSF scorecard, which is for security, like a check, and so on. So round away, what I want to say here is, guys, if you haven't already, and I think this doesn't apply really to our regular watchers, please consider really sponsoring people who work on packages that you are using. Of course, I have to show here myself, Jan Küster. We both have sponsorship pages, so please consider sponsoring us there so we can spend more time on open source doing stuff like this. And I will have an announcement to make later on, actually, both of us as well. But there are also other ways which you can help, and this is kind of going back to the sponsor of this segment, which is Galaxy. So if you don't know, Galaxy is the official hosting for Meteor applications. That's pretty much where your applications go when you hit Meteor deploy. And you can use the promo code dispatches-60 to get $60 credits, which, if you're using the smallest paid container, will last you 2 months. And there's also a free tier as well. So let me put that up again. Let me get here the scroller. So meteor.software/dispatches-offer or minus offer. And then you can scroll that, add in your details, and add in the coupon code dispatches60. Besides, having a great hosting for your Meteor application, I would say the best. Some say the best. It also helps, support development of Meteor itself as well. That's why I personally host, or it's one of the many reasons why I host on Galaxy, and also my database I host on MongoDB Atlas, so that the money that I spend there for hosting my database also goes to the creators of the technology as well. And that means for me, they can maintain themselves, they can create new features, and that then benefits me in, I would say, manifold times back as well. So one more reason why you should choose Galaxy. All right. And sometimes there are other ways how you can support your maintainers and people working around these areas. For example, on my sponsorship page, there is, say, a lot of affiliate codes that you can use. Sometimes they actually only give you some benefits, so definitely check them out. So be sure to kind of analyze your dependencies, and we already had in the past episodes, and if not a dedicated episode, we should probably make one deep dive on how to kind of go around managing your dependencies to make sure that you're kind of aware of what's happening, and you already here made the first step, that you're keeping yourself informed. And with that, another help, how you can help without actually having to get out your credit card, is to subscribe to this channel. Alim S really wants to get more subscribers so we can get more options from YouTube, and maybe reach more people, and hopefully in the future reach monetization, so that again we can reach more people and tell them about how amazing Meteor is. Let me quickly check the comments. Yes, Jan has something that I will be talking about shortly. But first, before we go to some amazing things that Jan has been cooking, we do have a few useful resources that I want to share with you. So let me switch to that. First of all, we have from React Training from Brad Westfall, React and form data, which kind of looks into how you can actually the form data. Is it a class or object? Pretty much the data that you can get by natively from form elements. And at the end, he also talks about how Zod fixes some of the issue and how it's going to look in React 19 and some other frameworks. So if React is your front end, definitely check this out. But even if not, check it out just to kind of learn about form data if you don't know already about that. It can kind of help a lot with the forms. And the second, I would say generally interesting, not necessarily just React, is an essay from Prabhashwara Senevirarte, aka Bash. Apologies for butchering the names. That's why we have nicknames. And this I found very interesting. And then he talks about how actually in games like World of Tanks, all these green things that you see here, that's React. And I find it absolutely wild that you have React in games and games engines. A lot of the menus, all that stuff are React. So definitely check this out. But also why I want to bring this on, also suppose because it kind of goes there through game face, which is like game face like a UI way how it's being done. So and it has its own peculiarities that create quite issues. I want to scroll down here because he left of course the gaming industry and is now back, I would say, to web development. One thing that he really noticed and I want to underline is, and I will kind of read it in verbatim here, we see it just over here. The sense of secrecy in gaming industry also caught me off guard. When I attended a gaming conference, I was surprised by how serious everyone was about their work. It felt very different from front-end conferences that I had been to, where struggles and solutions were openly shared. At the gaming conferences, it felt like several tribes had come together to size each other up. The secrecy is partly due to the studios wanting to protect the surprise they have in store for their players. The rest was due to the culture of proprietary software and strict intellectual property protection. Closed source was the norm and closed community was the result. So I would say part of me here is an appeal to you all. Help support our open source community. Don't let it die, because if we kind of go back to the closed or proprietary software, then we'll get, of course, closed communities and secrecy and other things. And we had a great, I would say, technological explosion thanks to open source and the open communities that we had. Actually, was at a conference for Cloudflare yesterday, and this really depicts it. And I would think, just want to keep, as many things about how we do things, secret, especially when it comes to security around Cloudflare. People, were like openly discussing, even if it was like not, saying Cloudflare discussing, what issues they had, how they were solving. Of course, it was marketing for Cloudflare as well, but still, it was openly discussed, sometimes into very interesting details. So, hooray for that. And we can also see it within, Meteor and to varying degrees through the history, but that would be kind of getting ahead of my presentation for Open Source Summit Japan a little bit there. And speaking of which, let's go to our final reminders. Since I'm the only one speaking here, you can see my voice is starting to give out already. So first reminder here from Jan. If you remember last week, he introduced Blaze UI, and hopefully next week he will have a full website. Already got a little sneak peek for myself, so it looks really good. So that will be coming up. And again, a reminder, I'm looking for any help that you can give financial to offset some of my costs of going to Japan. You can go to my GitHub sponsors page, and you can also just become a regular sponsor as well and get all the benefits. So if you can help me in this crucial situation, you will get access to all these benefits like newsletter till the end of the year, even if it's just like one-time support. And I will have a few more things to announce next week, specifically as we've spoken here about being informed, being on top of things. I will be introducing, or I'm looking into introducing retainers for companies, which I'll kind of become their main guy around open source, or at least around Meteor open source, to inform them what's going on, to keep them up to date and make sure that they have all the information, among other benefits as well. So I'll be trying to get some more packages or more interesting things for people out there, because I really love open source and I would love to keep on doing this and not have to go back to corporate world of programming, because it just doesn't suit me. And that's it for today. Let me see if we have any more interesting comments. Let's also put in, we don't have that there. So there was a question about all the links and everything. Jan replied in there, you can sign up for our Substack, where in that newsletter you will get all the links. Let me actually pull the oh no, Alim did not put in here the link to that, so we'll have to but it's in the description, or at least it should be in the description, so check that out. And we have hello y'all from Astro. We also have here hello from Camilla earlier, and City Psycho, and of course Gabs is back. I also saw Gabs meeting Leonardo and Nacho at some meetup, so that was pretty cool. And hopefully we'll have him back next week for some Discord office hours where we can discuss things very nicely. So Camilla is here. Last chance to say hi, and we have Goethe, so you can be immortalized forever on this recording. So I don't see any questions or comments or anything like that. So this was a very quick solo episode this week, sadly due to mostly unforeseen circumstances. But next week we have Lori of the Weekend team coming in. I'm just going to tell us about working with the Weekend. So Lori and Weekend is super interesting and have always a lot of interesting things to say on that. And as Astor is saying here, it would also be great to having some live coding sessions. We do have some, there are actually some of them that Jan made are in their own standalone videos. Maybe have some deep dives. And for that, I'm doing those usually on my Monday streams. So that's on my personal channel. And okay, here is the link to the Substack. So you can, let's leave that for a bit. So you can follow me on YouTube as well, and at Storyteller CZ. So almost every Monday I go live, and usually it is a live coding session, trying to kind of figure out some things out. This Monday, I've worked on generators and build a pull request for that to Meteor. And this Monday, it's going to be quite crazy because I'll be trying to do static web pages super fast with Meteor. So that's going to be interesting, given how Meteor is supposed to be, be more of a dynamic web pages, all that stuff. And last time, let us know, Astor, what topics you would like us to look over. We'll be happy to oblige if there is enough interest. And of course, if we are proficient in those, but so that's that. So with that, thank you very much for joining me on this very special solo Meteor Dispatches. Have a nice weekend. I'll be probably jumping on for a little bit on the Discord if you want to catch me up. And I will see you on Monday, or if you are not joining me on Monday, I will join you hopefully with the entire team on Friday, and with Lori and all the stuff about the weekend as well. So once again, have a great weekend, and I will see you around.